I am coming from Neve Shalom Wachat Salam, which is the only community in Israel where Jews and Palestinians of Israeli citizenship decided to live together in peace and in equality. We have 60 families and 90 more to come, half of them Jewish, half of them Palestinian. The main outreach of the community is the School for Peace, which is a political education institution that specialized in conflict management, doing conflict management workshops between Jews and Palestinians from within Israel and Palestinians from Palestine.
The project is designed to address the cycles of communal and gender-based violence that have afflicted Rwanda, Burundi, and Eastern DR Congo since large-scale violence broke out in the early 90s. The best way to address this is to deconstruct those social norms and narratives that justify violence against vulnerable populations. And so creating a first-of-its-kind model where men and women work together as partners to address those structures through seed projects.
We do a lot of journalism training programs and human rights training programs for the young university graduates in Kabul, for which I am here for this media advocacy program for the peace projects, which is basically a training program for the young university graduates. We select 15 university graduates from the different departments of Kabul University and Mazar and Herat University, mostly female participants, but some male too. And we train them in journalism, modern journalism, like using of social media and how to integrate the human rights and women's rights news in their program to bring advocacy and pro-women and girls' education and to try to change the attitude of people through our advocacy and human rights program.
This project, called the Cyprus Peace Project as a shorthand, is done in collaboration with colleagues and friends in Cyprus, Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots, to bring together the Cypriots, to engage in a dialogue, to see if they can come up with a common solution to their common problems. This is the ambition of the project. The project aspires to support and supplement the official Cyprus talks as they are conducted under the auspices of the United Nations.
The program that we're presented here is all about empowering the member organizations themselves to undertake a mentoring program where the stronger NGOs will work with the smaller NGOs, where we'll undertake trainings for the leadership level of organizations, and we'll have more events really to send the message that there is a partner for peace in Palestine and in Israel.
We make short documentaries for NGOs and nonprofits and other development organizations. We make really beautiful cinematic films based on story that also deliver programming messages. Our partner in this grant is an organization called Promundo, which engages men directly in gender-based violence work, so preventing gender-based violence through consulting with men directly. And they'll use our film and facilitate discussions around gender-based violence.
Especially this project is one of the projects of WANEP. It's called the Active Nonviolence and Peace Education. WANEP of other projects, the early warning, early response. women in peace building, democracy and good governance, research documentation bodies. It's called Active Peace, Active Non-Violence and Peace Education, and this is particularly targeting post-primary school students. By that, in our own Palance, West Africa, we mean people from like 9 years to about 19 years to about 19 years.
ICRD has primarily worked in its history in conflicts that are marked by Abrahamic faith traditions. So the Middle East, Syria, Afghanistan, Sudan. Right now we're working on some Saudi issues. Pakistan was one of our big programs. So it was important to me when I came into the organization to try to find a way to expand our geographic and thematic demographic reach. So part of the program in Latin America, where we're just building our Latin American programming around the Columbia program, is to try to work in non-Abrahamic faith traditions as well. So we're working with evangelical pastors, Catholics, but we're also bringing Afro-traditionalists and indigenous shamans to the table in order to find some sort of common set of pro-social, spiritually grounded motives that can help to unify some of the identity divides that have driven the conflict in Colombia or have resulted from the conflict in Colombia.
For Voices of Justice, we are partnering with a wonderful organization, Red Colombiano, which is a network of journalists of a gender-sensitive perspective working in Colombia to write the role and perception of women in Colombian society. By connecting them to radio stations, government partners, UNFPA, I hope they will have a group of like-minded partners who will work with them to advance peace. This project can help empower women, can help shift the view of women in the media, but the real long-term objective is to add to the global efforts and the national efforts in Colombia to advance peace and harmony.
What we hope to do is to implement an exchange program and workshop program between 6 different schools in Peru to focus on learning across differences. So we plan on working with private schools, public schools, military schools, schools in rural areas, schools in urban areas. And the idea is that students in these different contexts can come together and learn together through online communication, and then also at the end of the program can actually meet in person to learn about specifically the internal armed conflict that Peru went through between the years 1980 and 2000.